actually went to a private 60-person presentation with David Grusch as the speaker. This was mostly all private citizens, as in professors, lawyers, business people, a few scientists, retired military, current FBI, and other government agency members. In the end, we were allowed to ask questions. Some asked him about this, and what he said was that he was part of an extremely secret program that had figured out how to track and find UAPs in our atmosphere and near Earth orbit. He said his OPED will include much more details regarding this. It was hosted by a Wall Street bigwigs and his lawyer friend. It was sort of a small saloon-style talm. David also did it for free, even went as far as to fly in to NYC just for this. He had arrived only a few hours beforehand and then left first thing the next day. The idea was to get a group of both skeptics and believers from all these different walks of life for a talk regarding David and the things he has said. Most of the people that left had left as believers, or at the very least believed that David was not lying and truly believed everything he said. He also mentioned a few other things that I haven't heard him say before. Like that, he was told about a UAP that was in our possession that had a diameter of around 40 feet, but once you went inside, it was the size of a football field. They believed that the object was somehow able to manipulate both space and time. He also said that the object was both using and creating energy that was more than a terawatt when measured, which is an absolutely ridiculous amount of power, something along the ions of 1 trillion watts. He also mentioned that he had recently been informed that a U.S. adversary was considering full disclosure to get out ahead of the U.S., and that he passed this information along to the U.S. government. He also alluded to the retaliation that WQS had taken against him. It sounded pretty terrifying, and he wasn't the only one to be retaliated against. Multiple people involved in not only his investigation, but also his fellow peers in the UAP task force, such as Stratton, were also threatened. He wouldn't go too much into since it's an open investigation, but these people pretty showed him that they could touch him or his family anytime they wanted. He also mentioned that the U.S. has taken part in a fair amount of crash retrivals before 1933. Also, that we wouldn't be surprised by what the NHI look like, such as they look like the typical gray, and they aren't sure where these beings have come from. There is also a chance that they are extra-dimensional, but that it could also just seem this way because of the technology they use, rather than them being actual extra-dimensional beings. Interestingly, he also mentioned how many people know the full scope of the phenomenon to be no more than 50 people, but it wasn't clear whether this meant 50 people currently alive or 50 people ever in history. All in all, it was extremely interesting,